In this video, we're going to cover field requests version 2. Field requests allows your field team, technicians out in the field, to instantly communicate with your warehouse and back office team, reducing unneeded calls to dispatch, text messaging, and reducing human error when requesting materials. Text provided a simple interface to add materials and quantity that can be turned into purchase orders, RFQs, or pick lists for the back office to execute on. Teams are provided alerts and email requests or new requests, and the ability to manage those statuses to communicate back to the team. Today, we're going to cover creating a field request on mobile, sending that field request to the back office team for mobile, managing the mobile field request as a warehouse manager or procurement manager to fill within the web application, including checking quantity, status, and view, creating purchase orders from a field request, and how it links back to a purchase order within the field request. All right, let's get started. The first thing that you'll notice is under stock, there is a new tab called field request. When we click this, you'll be able to see a new interface that looks slightly different than the older version that allows you to have more control over a field request. Up at the top, you'll be able to see the different statuses that you can control. And you'll be able to control statuses by just simply clicking over the priority status here, change status. So if you need to filter out the different statuses to see what you need to do on a daily basis, you'll be able to do that. Now, we're going to go over to the mobile application and we're going to show you how to create a field request to interact. So I'm going to open up my mobile application here. And for field requests, you'll be able to see a new tab here at the top. When we click that, you'll be able to see a list of all of the field requests that are reflected on the left and right. To create a new field request, you'll be able to click this plus sign here and it begins creating the field request. Technicians will be able to scan items or search the materials within the catalog. As a technician, they'll have their location pre-chosen for them, or they can select it. Or if you want to select a job for a field request, you can also do that. For this example, I'm going to select add materials to my field requests, and I'm going to select a couple here. Click add variants, and we'll be able to see the list of items that we've selected. I'm going to put in the number that I need and click submit. We can select a priority, a due date when I need it by. So if there is a time that the technician is going back to the customer's house, you'll be able to have a due date and any notes. So I'm just leaving a little note here to make sure that they are aware of the variant and hit confirm. Now that this has been sent over to our team, you can see it reflected within the field request tab within iOS. And when I go and update this, we'll be able to see that Harry, which is who I'm logged in here, has submitted a new field request. Now let's go ahead and interact with this field request. When I click the drop down here, you'll be able to see the number of items that I've selected and the materials specifically. You have a number of different options here. You can edit this. So if there's things that you need to change, like the due date or the status, you can do that. You can check the details, change the status, or delete this field request. Now, one of the neat features about field requests is it allows you to manage materials within your existing warehouses to understand if you have this or not, so that you can either create a purchase order or create a pick list. So when I hover over the availability tab for this one item, we'll be able to see that we do have it in a number of places, and so we can redistribute the materials across the different locations. And when I click into this field request, it gives me its own view. So if I ever need to share this field request for someone, I do have a unique URL here. And if I wanted to interact with this field request, like make a purchase order, I can select those materials here by selecting them here. Or if I go back to the field request and I want to fill the field request all together, I can click on the field request entirely. For this example, I'm going to create a purchase order from this field request. You'll be able to see that we have not received any of these yet. So I'm going to click on create purchase order. I'm going to select a supplier that we wanted to go out to. The ship to location, we're going to ship it back to the warehouse, and we're going to click next. We can include any users that we want to be in that communication. And you can see that the two materials have already been selected here for purchasing. And the quantities that have been requested by the technician have also been pre-filled as well. I'm going to click next. Just going to make sure everything is good to go here on my purchase order, that the correct unit cost quantity has been created. And I'm going to click send purchase order to supplier. We're going to refresh the screen now. And we can see that this one has changed to in progress. And when we open this up, we'll be able to see now that the purchase order that we just created has been linked to the field request as well. And so when I click this, we'll be able to see the status of this purchase order. Let's go ahead and change the status, assuming that we've received it. Change status. We've received this. You can see that it's still in progress, under in progress. And if we go over to the purchase orders tab, we'll be able to see that we have received these items. And we're going to reconcile these back into that location. So I'm going to choose the correct location. You can reconcile it back into the truck, or if you want to reconcile it in any other location, you can select that and hit confirm. Now that we've reconciled those into the warehouse, we'll be able to go back over to our field requests, see that this one's in progress. We can take a look at the purchase order again if we need to. We can select items and edit them if we need to. And when this is ready to go, we can change the status here by selecting status, and we can say that it was received. And you can see that it's now been completed. Received and received. And so this one has now been totally completed outside of partially received. And so if we go back over to our iOS application, you can see the same thing by going over to completed. And you'll be able to see that field requests reconcile into that location, and you're good to go. Hopefully field requests enables your team to have a more streamlined communication between the back office and the technicians. And if there's any questions or future requests, please let us know.